Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today for 5, we're going to be doing 5 decks that are poised to make an impact in the next format. Obviously, we're going to be doing the before and after. This is going to be before the ban list, because for some reason the ban list could hit any 5 of these decks for no apparent reason, or hopefully they'll give them even more support to make the deck a little more competitive. Well, I'm going to be starting off with Lightsworn, a deck that is bound to make an impact on the rest of this format and the beginning of next format, just because of its sheer power and its ability to make plays. Lightsworn debuted in Light of Destruction. With that, you get their core monsters of Judgment Dragon, Lila, Lumina, and all those great Lightsworns. And then just recently, actually today, they get a Lightsworn structure deck, I believe called Realm of the Light structure deck or something like that. It's going to be a very interesting deck since they get new support for the deck, and they get just some amazing cards to make them even stronger. Now, the concept of this deck is built on milling and special summoning huge monsters. You can even run Dragon Rulers inside of them to make it even more consistent for some reason. You place in Eclipse Wyverns, the Dragon Rulers, the rulers banish the wyverns get you your Judgment Dragons, and since you're milling so much, you probably have enough Lightsworns in graveyard to summon it. It's a very fast-paced deck, almost OTK-centric, and it puts on type of boards that the opponent cannot get over. Really good and extremely effective against certain decks that just can't get over it. It's a very strong deck. Next, we're going to be talking about another deck that is just bound to make an impact on the format. It's called Sylvans. Now, Sylvans are based on, you can kind of say like Lightsworn and then kind of like Mermail, because they're built on sending cards from the deck to the graveyard to gain their effects, as well as special summoning Sage Koya from the hand, like Mermails would, under certain conditions. They kind of have that little mixture going on, but when it comes down to it, they're based on Synchro summoning and Exceed summoning really huge monsters. They can even go into shooting Quasar Dragon, but their main thing is going to be Aurea, being able to look at as many cards as the top of your deck, depending on the plant monster they discard. Then on top of that, being able to excavate and send cards from the opponents or from the field to the hand by not targeting. That is an amazing card. Aurea definitely gets the job done. They have that. They have the means of back row, monster destruction. They have just so many more options that makes them a really good deck. I think that they're going to make an impact as well as Lightsworn. Now we're going to be getting to the decks that aren't really seen as popular, but I genuinely feel that can make an impact into the format. We're going to be talking about vampires. Now, everybody has forgotten about vampires. Vampires aren't that type of deck to even be thought of. Vampires are based on tributing summoning Shadow Vampire to gain another vampire, or actually they're based on tributing summoning, whether it is Shadow Vampire or Vampire Duke, to special summon other ones and make pretty good Exceed plays. They did get some more support in Primal Origin, which I feel is subpar, but they still have a lot of room for improvement. That and not all of the vampire monsters have been released. Hint, hint, more support coming onto them. So this deck definitely has a lot of opportunity to make itself into an actually competitive deck. Not only that, they're all zombies, so they take really good use of Mizuki, Pyramid Turtle, Zombie Master, and all those other things just to make some good rank 4 plays as well as rank 5 plays. Next is Prophecy. Now, Prophecy is one card away from being really, really good again. So let's say if the ban list bring back Spellbook of Judgment, then Prophecies are definitely on their way to be an amazing deck. Let's say they bring back Spellbook of Fate to 2, at least to 2. Prophecies are back on their way to be an extremely competitive deck. They are that many cards away from making it that good. Even new support makes this deck extremely good. I feel that this deck is highly underrated. Being able to control the board and banish cards on your opponent's side of the field on your opponent's turn and not target is an extremely good plus that this deck has. It gets over so many awkward situations that other decks can't get over, and it's immune to practically shadows. You don't necessarily have to run High Priestess of Prophecy, which means you don't really special summon, which means all those other cards that shadows love to do doesn't really affect us. And it's just a lot of situations that they can get over if they just have that one card back off the list. Last would be Noble Knights. Now, the reason why someone would say, no, Noble Knights are trash, is because while they do have some pretty decent support and some really nice combos, they don't have enough consistency to be a competitive deck. But wait, on the horizons, and on November, here comes another Noble Knight support. Yes, they're getting some type of Structure Deck Special Edition Deluxe box, and I believe at least 2 more support cards, a spell card and another monster. Hopefully those 2 cards won't be as disappointing as Noble Knights of the Round Table and all the other Noble Knight depressing cards that we did get. Hopefully it'll be a lot better. Maybe even a search card that the Noble Knights have been desperately wanting. With that being said, if Noble Knights do get that last piece, which they are guaranteed to get some type of piece to the deck, they can be extremely competitive, summoning a 3400 attack monster that can't be targeted and that once per turn can't be destroyed, and then all these other stipulations on that monster is really good as when it comes to a monster standpoint. Being that, and they can run cards like Kaiser Coliseum. They really don't need a lot of traps. They're kind of immune to Royal, or they could run Royal Decree. It's just so many things that this Noble Knight deck could do to take advantage of the format that we have right now and that we would have in the future. With that being said, thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.